Hello YouTube, what's going on everybody? It's your boy GZTV back with another video, and we are here to talk about the Season 7 opener of Dexter RU. Plot, critical reception. You guys know how these videos go. I'm going to get this video out real quick so I can go watch The Walking Dead, or at least start on it. I'm going to watch as much of The Walking Dead I can, go eat lunch, and then come down and make my 2K video. Obviously I'll have to grind the Spotlight Sim. I might just do the Rush card today and the Spotlight Sim tomorrow. I don't know. But then again, I kind of have to do the all-time Spotlight cards when they drop. And if tomorrow some, like, nobody drops, then, yeah, we can just do the Rush card. But, so the episode begins with a flash forward to Dexter hurrying through an airport to catch a flight. And you can only assume he's leaving because he's trying to clear his name. He realizes his credit cards are canceled. He's going to have to pay with cash, and, yeah. Deb walks in on Dexter killing Travis Marshall, the infamous Doomsday Killer. Now, we know that it happened at the end of Season 6. That was like kind of the cliffhanger heading into this season. She pulls her gun and he tries to explain away the kill as self-defense, and he snapped. And she's not really buying it all the way. Dexter's obviously like a lieutenant. She's a detective. She looks into a lot of things. Like, she's not just going to let this slide. He explains the kill table and plastic wrap as it is his forensic instincts to get rid of the evidence. Deb wants to call it in, suggesting a temporary insanity plea or a good lawyer. Dexter's like, fuck no. Why would I get in trouble for this? Like, you're my fucking sister. You can get me out of this situation. Why would I get in trouble for this? Dexter dismisses this, saying his life, career, and relationship to Harris will be ruined, and instead suggests moving the body. Why don't we just, like, frame it as a suicide? She refuses, but then they agree to disguise it as a suicide. Like, okay. I mean, that's, like, even more fucked up. Like, they set the church on fire with gasoline from a nearby gas station. Burning the body is way worse than just, like, disposing of it. Like, what? What? How'd she agree to that? However, Dexter drops his customary blood slide into a floor vent and does not notice it is gone. And that might come back to bite him. That's going to be like a storyline that'll be kind of looming throughout the season. Miami Metro Police, including forensics expert Vince Masuka, Detective Mike Anderson, which we haven't discussed, but he's played by Billy Brown, Sergeant Angel Batista, Detective Joey Quinn, and Captain Maria LaGuerta, come to investigate the church because they hear of a fire and Travis is in it. And they kind of investigate, like, yeah, that does seem like a suicide. It's kind of weird, though, that he, like, plunged his heart like that. Like, who the hell does that? But he's a weird person. LaGuerta finds Dexter's broken blood slide, and again, like I said, this is kind of going to be a looming storyline moving on through the show. Dexter returns to his apartment and finds Lewis Green, played by Josh Cook, on his side of his apartment and gets angry at him. Like, why the fuck are you in my area touching my shit? Lewis later complains about Dexter to his girlfriend and Harrison's babysitter, Jamie Batista, played by Amy Garcia, and cancels his credit cards. Yeah, that is kind of fucking goddamn. That is why his cards were declined. I kind of forgot about that. Lewis Green's a bitch, dude. Lewis is kind of a bitch. Like, you're on this guy's side of the apartment, like touching his shit, and you're gonna get mad at him for getting mad at you. Like, bro. Dexter goes to put Travis's blood slide away, but realizes that he lost it. He's gonna need to fucking find it. And obviously he works in, like, forensics, so he could probably go find it in evidence, but yeah. Flashbacks to Dexter and Deb's childhood to demonstrate how Dexter's psychopathy has always affected Deb. She's known that he's kind of a weirdo, but not this weird. Doris Morgan, played by Catherine Lautner Middleton, surprises Deb with a dog, but Harry Morgan makes him take it back out of fear that Morgan will kill it, and at one point, Dexter admits the reason to Deb, but Harry stops him and tells him Deb wouldn't love the real him. And she's not really loving it right now, and that's kind of like a foreshadowing within, like, what's actually happening. And they just tell her he's allergic to the dog. Mike calls Deb suspicious about it being a suicide since Travis's car was not at the church, and they suggest maybe he walked a long way. He later sees a driver, Viktor Boskov, played by Enver Gizhokov, on the side of the road with a flat tire, and he's looking to help. Obviously, he's like a police officer. He's looking out for the public. He stops to help but discovers the corpse of Katya Soroka, a stripper for a Ukrainian mob-run strip joint, the Foxhole, in his trunk. And this is looking to kind of be like the season antagonists, like these Ukrainian like mobsters, which it sounds fucking awesome, right? It sounds badass. You know, watching all of these gangster movies, I love the sound of that. Victor shoots him in panic, leaving the car and Soroka's corpse, and yeah, Mike presumably, yeah, he dies on the spot, presumably, but obviously we get that confirmation later on. Deborah begins questioning Dexter's story about how Travis was his first murder and questions why he was so prepared with the plastic wrap, knives, and aprons, and he's trying to paint it like, oh, I got it from the storage in the kitchen and all this stuff. He tries to deflect her questions, but she remains suspicious and watchful of him. Now, he's been able to, like, dodge people in the past, you know, questioning his lifestyle. But Deb knows him. She's his little sister, you know. She's gonna know when he's lying and when he's not. The police investigate Mike's crime scene. Dexter finds a fingerprint match from Boskov's car to Boskov, something that no one else finds. And again, that's kind of like a common storyline that happens throughout the Dexter seasons. You know, Dexter sees something that no one else does, and he wants to track down the killer before anyone else does. So it's kind of weird because they never, like, the department never actually, like, catches or kills the killer. So, like, shouldn't they be, like, questioning things? I don't know. Deb has flashbacks to the ice truck killer's attempted murder of her and notices the similarities between his kill table and Dexter's killing of Travis, and she knows that that's his brother, so there's a huge connection there. Angel and Quinn go to the Foxhole, but everyone denies knowing anything. They later reconcile their differences over a toast about Mike. They're kind of bonding over this. So, yeah, they're not going to snitch. They're obviously, like, all part of this crime organization. The Foxhole's manager, George Novikov, played by Jason Gedrick, calls his superior, Isaac Surko, in Kyiv, Ukraine, to tell him that Victor has fled and is on a flight to Ukraine. You know, he's got to get out of the country, clear his name. Dexter, however, intercepts him at the airport and kills him, dumping the body in the ocean as usual. Let's be honest, Victor is probably just one of their gangsters. Like, he's not really that big of a member, so it's going to be interesting because I feel like they're just going to keep sending gangsters over there to kill people. Like, I don't know, that sounds fucking awesome. This show sounds like it's heading in a great direction for this season already, and we're only in episode 1. Deb visits Masuka, who tells her that he agreed to work the late shift as long as Dexter worked in the morning. However, Deb then calls Jamie, who tells her that Dexter is at work and frequently works long hours into the night, and she can only assume one thing, why he's doing that, why he's saying that. It's because he's killing people. Deb realizes that Dexter is lying, and more memories come back, which involve him and the ice truck killer. Like, they're talking about converting Dexter to the dark side. He's like, oh, I'm not ready for that yet. You know, like, it's his brother. His brother kind of rubs off on him and all this stuff. LaGuerta asks Masuka about the blood slide, and Masuka reminds her of James Stokes, who is framed as the Bay Harbor Butcher, so she kind of pushes it off to the side for now. And an interesting callback to James Stokes, that was a Season 2 storyline, I believe. Wow. The episode ends with Dexter arriving at his apartment to find Deb with his blood slides, weapons used for killing, and the ice truck killer prosthetic arm in front of her. Like, what the fuck do you have to hide? She asks him if he's a serial killer, to which he responds, yes. So, he full-on confesses of his lifestyle to Deb. Jesus Christ! Okay, this is going to be a long-ass review. Pretty good episode. RU does its best to speedboat past... What? Season 6 was forgettable? Man, I disagree. I don't know. The episode's a return to form. The episode has assuaged most of his fears and given us some terrific new terrain to explore. RU is a well-crafted and promising way to kickstart this later season. You know, it kind of leaves you with goosebumps and excitement for the rest of this season's story. Jennifer Carpenter's truly memorable performance that horrifically encapsulated the entire series to date was awesome. She did great. What? I mean, I guess it was kind of formulaic. I guess last season was a little formulaic, but I don't look at it like that. I did like this episode. There were a couple surprises. You know, the episode was structured really well, and that it kept trying to slide back into typical Dexter rhythms. Some case of the week, lots of Dexter internal monologuing, that sort of thing. But every time it did, Deb's concern and curiosity disrupted the proceedings, and the fact that Dexter's being caught as a serial killer is definitely a big surprise. I got an A- in the AV Club. RU represents kind of a different version of this show. The opening scene in the church, Buck's writing, Hall and Carpenter's performances were all highlights of this episode. Dexter appears to be at long last back on his game. The episode lends a momentum that has been absent from the show since season 2. Jesus Christ, people. The premiere, even better than expected, honestly. It's kind of like some renewed hope for the series, like generally, but I thought season 6 was good. This episode demonstrates just how much potential Dexter was wasting by avoiding consequences or paradigm shifts. It shakes the series out of the doldrums it's been in for several years now. The season 7 premiere is pure tension from beginning to end, just a terrific premiere all around. And yeah, whatever worries we had about the last 2 seasons there wiped away, and as good as an opener of a series finale year ever. I don't really have much to say. I don't want to keep reading these because it's literally like a fucking, like, a book of reviews. This episode was, like, heavily talked about. So obviously this was a very, like, big moment. This was a make or break moment for the Dexter show creators because people were not digging it. For a while, people were just saying it was a formulaic. They followed the same plot. The same fucking thing happened at the end of every season where the killer would be killed by Dexter. And yeah, hopefully this season does keep changing it up. I do agree at some point, but I'm still entertained by damn near every season of Dexter. So the Trinity killing, the Doomsday,